Putin may follow Hitler's path and not stop with Ukraine. The West has been warned that if Putin invades Ukraine, his war on democracy will not come to an end, and the Russian leader is on track to follow in the footsteps of Adolf Hitler. According to Oksana Markarova, Ukraine's ambassador to the United States, no one is safe from the former KGB strongman. As the situation worsens, Britain is expected to boost the number of soldiers on the ground, sending a strong warning to Russia. At the border with his Eastern European neighbors, Putin has more than 100,000 soldiers and is committing further resources to the front lines. It's not clear if he wants to start a war or if he wants to use the threat of war to get NATO to refuse to accept Ukraine as a member by threatening war. That lengthy history of economic abuse looks more likely to repeat again if Russian soldiers effectively capture the fellow former Soviet republic. The Mongol Empire extended into modern-day Ukraine in the 13th century, devastating Kiev. And in World War II, Hitler tried to boost Germany's food supply by exploiting the country's massive agricultural industry, according to War Today. This week, new legislation expanding sanctions on Russia will be issued, according to Foreign Secretary Liz Truss, in an effort to deter further aggression. Around 1,000 soldiers might be dispatched to support NATO allies in the event of a conflict between the Ukrainian government and pro-Russian rebels. It was reported earlier this morning that authorities were considering measures to go after billionaires with connections to Putin. Russia's intervention into Ukraine, according to British Foreign Secretary Boris Johnson, would be a catastrophe. He said the UK's fresh offer to NATO will send a clear message to Moscow that it would not accept destabilizing behavior. Estonia might get defensive weaponry as well as more troops, according to Number 10. Britain's support for NATO and its Nordic and Baltic allies could be bolstered by the deployment, Downing Street said in a report. A visit to the tumultuous region is expected by Prime Minister Harper, who is expected to meet with Russian President Vladimir Putin early this week. According to Number 10, a second journey to speak with NATO member counterparts will take place early next month. Details of the offer will be worked out in Brussels next week, and ministers will meet Monday to consider military alternatives. Mrs. Truss and Mr. Wallace will be meeting their counterparts in Moscow in the coming days, Mr. Johnson said. In order to improve relations with Russia and encourage de-escalation, they will be asked to do so, according to Downing Street. Mr. Wallace is also set to go to Hungary, Slovenia, and Croatia this week to engage with friends on Mr. Johnson's behalf. As for the Ukraine crisis, Admiral Sir Tony Radakin has been summoned to provide a briefing to Cabinet on Tuesday.